Hello everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. This is the ELODY Recorder by Mollenhauer. It's a modern harmonic recorder with a built-in microphone pickup. I'm going to review it today because you have been asking for it a lot. Aside from the microphone, there are a lot of curious things about it. Namely, it's flat, it sounds different, it feels different and functions differently to your Baroque recorder. So let's get into it. Should we have a play first? You can play the high F sharp without stopping the end of your recorder. The first thing I notice is that it speaks very easily. It's got a big resonant sound, and this is because it's a harmonic recorder. It means it's built to have a different overtone system than your Baroque recorder. Let's just compare it with my regular Baroque alto. Overtones. The sound is very similar to the Mollenhauer modern altos, and in fact it's the same design. It's just that this one is round and this one is flat. I noticed that this encourages me to put my fingers quite flat on the recorder. That's nice because that is the hand position I would go for, but it does take some getting used to that it's so wide. I had so many questions about the ELODY that I got on Zoom with Nik Tarasov, who is the inventor of this instrument. He could answer them for me, and something that you should know going into the video is that he was inspired by the design, the sound, the function by the electric guitar. That's going to be important. Normal recorders are round, but this literally has edges, flat surfaces. Functionally, he told me that this makes it much easier to kind of smear and glissando and bend between notes like a guitar would. Okay, it's going to take some getting used to. The beak is also very wide in your mouth. I notice I'm not putting this whole thing in my mouth because then I feel a bit like a duck. I'm just making a little embouchure like on the recorder. What you can do, this makes it very easy to turn the instrument to the side, get some more air sound in there. Nik also said he made the recorder wider and flatter so it's easier to keep hold of when you're dancing around on stage. Let's do some of that. For the purposes of science, compare this with my other recorder. Wow, you know what? It's true. When flailing around, it is easier to keep hold of the ELODY. So yes. Some background, Nik Tarasov designed the ELODY and it came on the market in around 2013, and he originally designed it for himself. Aside from classical music, Nik plays in a lot of rock bands, and he wanted something that was going to fit the look, the style, the feel, the sound. Starting with the sound, that's obviously the most important. It's got a high range with these keys, it's nicely in tune, it speaks beautifully. While rock modes on the guitar are not my speciality, Nik told me that with the addition of the low E key, That enables you to play in a lot of the keys and modes that are used in rock music, and it fits really well on the alto. So he took the Mollenhauer modern altos that he'd already worked on and used the same sound design with a new look. And the look is important. I have the cherry wood version here, but you can get them in all kinds of different designs. Obviously, I would go for the space design. Not every design is to my taste, but that's why there's a choice. And apparently you can also request a custom one if you want to pay for it. The ELODY marketing is very much, this is the cool recorder. And I had a problem with that because I don't think you necessarily need to change something and try and make it cool to make it cool. I think recorders are cool anyway. But then I have to tell myself, Sarah, just because something's not aimed at you doesn't mean that other people won't like it. You are not the centre of the universe. A valuable lesson for us all. And Nik said that though he made the recorder basically for himself, it found this audience amongst people playing in bands and especially in schools. In his experience, his teenage students in music schools, when they reach that tricky age where they've been learning for a while but aren't sure if they want to continue, he found that playing with the ELODY with effects really inspired them to carry on. And I identify with this. When I was 14, I really wanted to quit music. I was just in that phase. So luckily, my flute teacher at the time let me play the music from Titanic for 1 year. And after that, I'd had enough and I wanted to go on. So sometimes it's about finding this inspiration, this thing that's going to click. And apparently the ELODY has been clicking. Let's talk about the microphone. It has a built-in pickup piezo mic on the inside of the recorder. The advantage of this is that it doesn't get all of the sound around you, which is super important if you're standing in front of a drum kit. Comes standard with this jack cable. You plug the mic in there, but you have the option to buy a different cable, an XLR connection, if that's what you want for your setup. I took the ELODY along to my friend Angelo Boltini's studio where we got into his millions of guitar pedals. Let's have a listen. So that was some music we made. I found the mic really easy to work with, and the nice thing is because it's inside the recorder, there was no danger of feedback. Yeah. Finally! It gives a pure, clean signal that's really nice for processing and putting effects on. That's its job and it does it well. Would I use this microphone for recording? No, I wouldn't. I would use a different setup, but that's not what it's for. If I was playing in a quiet setting and I wanted amplification, I think I would still use an external mic just to get more of those extra rustly sounds that we love on the recorder. But for picking up a signal to process, this works great. What we didn't try with Angelo is really putting some distortion and power into this. Nik gave me some recommendations, so let's try that out for you. Octave pedal, this puts you down 2 octaves. If you go down 3 octaves, those pedals do exist, then you are in the same range as a double bass. This use of octaves is the reason that the ELODY only exists as an alto. This is what I asked Nik, why is there not a tenor version or a bass? So the alto goes down to a low E. With a tenor, you'd only win 2 more tones, C and D. And in Nik's experience, these weren't so useful for the modes that he was playing in his band. A bass recorder, you get another octave, but then it's less agile. So the alto gives you the notes you need, and using these octave pedals gives you the range. When using it in a band, Nik is putting the ELODY through a preamp and then a volume pedal, then a noise reduction, then an amplifier, and maybe an audio interface going to some kind of electronics thing. And I'll be honest, the ELODY is not cheap. It is sold as a professional instrument with an investment price. And then if you have to buy all of this equipment alongside it, that's a lot of money. But you don't have to do this. You can also use software that you download onto your phone or onto your laptop. There's even free versions. If playing with effects is something you want to get into, I'd say start small. Download a free app and see what you can get out of it, and you can add things as you go. You don't have to have a huge setup in order to make music. And do you need an ELODY to start playing electronics with your recorder? Absolutely not. You can get an external microphone and try it out with your existing instrument. If you want to start trying out processed sound, it could be good to just get an inexpensive microphone first and try that out with the recorder you already have before you spend loads of money on an instrument you're not sure is going to be right for you. Where the ELODY really excels is being able to play amplified and processed with lots of big noise going on around you. I play in a band and I know how difficult it is to amplify a soft recorder with a drum kit and a guitar and a bass next to you. So the ELODY is really solving a problem there. I want to show you the case. Woo! The ELODY comes with a flight case, very sturdy, and yeah, I get it. You want to look cool? You want to look cool. The ELODY sits flat in here and you've got this handy shelf. That's where you can keep your cables. Personally, I would never use this case because it's so heavy and unwieldy. I would put my ELODY in a soft case, but that's just me. So let's wrap this up with some thoughts. I am super pleasantly, happily impressed with the feel of the instrument, the functionality, the sound, the tuning, the range, the response. Musically as an instrument, this really exceeds my expectations and I would be happy to play it. I didn't think you have to try and make the recorder cooler because I think it's cool already. But Nik says in his experience, it has opened whole new audiences to accepting the recorder into their midst, and for me, most importantly, it's really got a lot of his students excited, inspired, and wanting to continue just by virtue of the fact of there's something different. And I think it's really healthy to question these norms of our instrument. Why does a recorder have to be round? Why can't a recorder have edges? Why can't it have different colours? You know what, maybe I'm just thinking too hard about this. I'm genuinely interested to hear what you think. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face down here in the corner. Over here is the Team Recorder Patreon, where you can choose to support the channel, and here's some other videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.